Hey, it is wrestling rant time, a weekly wrestling rant that I go on about the wrestling that I watched this past week. Today we are going to talk about Monday Night Raw, which premiered on Netflix. We're going to also talk about Dynamite, which was simulcast on TBS as well as HBO Max, and we're also going to talk about SmackDown. Now, I didn't watch NXT this week because with Raw being 3 hours long, SmackDown being 3 hours long, I'm like, I just can't do it. Those extra hours on those shows, like that, kind of killed NXT for me. If some things are buzzing around, I'll watch it next week, but I just watched when The Rock was there, and that was about it. Other than that, I didn't watch NXT at all. But anyway, let's get to it. Monday Night Raw. Can we talk about just how good the show looks as far as from a visual standpoint? It's like one of the best looking shows, period. I mean, man, this thing is like Super Bowl quality with levels of production. It looks absolutely amazing. So on top of the production value of Raw, I mean, they had the drones going. I mean, man, you got treated to a visual delight. I tell you that much. And then we go to the first. No, not even before the first match even started. Yeah, Triple H come out, welcoming everybody to the Netflix era. Then after Triple H did that intro, who comes out other than The Rock? The music hit. If you smell, all the lights went out. I just thought they was having an issue. They're having a technical issue at first, but then The Rock came out. You know, he cut his promo, which was long. I'm like, okay, get to the point. Just being truthful, but it was fine. It was fine. He was out there. Then, man, first match of the night, Tribal Combat. Roman versus Solo. And they had a WrestleMania-esque type run-ins with everybody getting involved and all the hoopla. Roman still won. And my question is like, well, what happens with Solo and crew now? We're going to talk about Friday Night SmackDown here in a little bit, but it's like, well, what happens now with Solo and crew? You know, since Roman's the official tribal chief. What happens there? So I can't wait to see what was going to transpire with the whole bloodline story. You know, Roman won, The Rock came out, presented the Ula follow to The Rock, and you know they hugged, and that was it. You know, it was decent enough. I enjoyed it for what it was and what it was going to be. Then we got Rhea and Liv. It wasn't them next. It was it Jay and Drew? I forget the order of it, but I'm gonna do it like this: Jay and Drew McIntyre. Jay Uso, Drew McIntyre. I can say this, man. Jay is so over as a personality. As a wrestler, his in the ring work, it gets aggravating to watch sometimes. I'm like, come on, man. You can't tighten stuff up a little bit better than this. And I'm glad he didn't partake with old Travis Scott up there either when they was doing the entrance. I'm like, why is this man smoking indoors? Like, come on. But, you know, entrance was it. Because the match was not. Man, and Drew, like I said, Drew is my favorite. Drew is my new favorite right now. He is my favorite wrestler in the ring and on the mic right now. And his constant trolling. I mean, even the stuff he did on Instagram with The Rock, because The Rock was back there. You know, he was just in TKO mode. He wasn't in Final Boss mode on that present on Raw. But even he was back there with, chopping it up with everybody. And even the Drew made The Rock go Jesus, I was like, that's Drew, man. He's my favorite. And you can tell during his match, you can like almost see the frustration on his face. Like, this is not, you can tell he like, this ain't going well. I'm a professional. I'm going to get this done, but this ain't going good. And this don't look good either. And it didn't. It did not. Ooh, that match didn't look good at all. Then we got, and Jay won by roll up. So Jay was too over not to win. But at the same time, man, that match was just awful. And it was sloppy. And I put that on Jay for most of it. I put that on Jay for the most part. Then we got Liv Morgan and Rhea Ripley. And that match did the business. Rhea Ripley won. She's the champ again. Then something super awkward happened. Undertaker came out. The ride passed. I'm like, that's so awkward. He rode past her to come back. They do the little fist, the fist bumper and do the fist up. I'm like, that's just awkward. And then she's standing right there until he came back. I'm like, this was awkward, super awkward. But that match was fine, no big deal. I like Liv's heel work. I mean, she's not a big lady by any stretch of the imagination, so I didn't expect her to do a whole lot of physical stuff. Rhea did what she's supposed to do, move her around and put her in a physical position, and she bumped around for it too, man. Rhea takes a great, she's by far a mega star when it comes to women's wrestling. That's Rhea Ripley. Then after that, we got, what match was it? Was it the because it was was it only 4 matches? Dang, I'm trying to think it was just 4 matches. Yeah, it was just 4 matches. A 3-hour show, 4 matches. But they made all the matches seem like they were, like main event bills. I know, I get what they're doing. They're hyping these fights up like a UFC fight. The Rock and Solo, not The Rock and Solo, but Roman and Solo. That match had 20 minutes build up before the match got started, and they went almost 30 minutes in their match. So they're doing, I see what they're doing, and they make their match like, hey, these matches are big deal. None of these matches are just throwaway matches. Now, all the matches pretty much are blow-off matches, but at the same time, they're not throwaways, So I get from a presentation standpoint. And then again, this was just a showcase to the world what WWE is going, what the type of show and type of product WWE is. But it was 4 matches in the whole show. Then we got the main event. CM Punk versus Seth Rollins. Man, the promos they were cutting on each other for the past couple weeks, the constant fights was great. It made you think it was a big moment. They had a great match. I thoroughly enjoyed it. CM Punk came out on top, and it's not the end of that feud, because it was a couple of it was definitely a couple of receipts given in that match. That GTS Seth Rollins hit on Punk square in the forehead. I don't care what you say, knee pad or not. I know that didn't feel good. And the GTS that Punk gave Seth right on his cheek, split his cheek a little bit there. I'm like, they gave some receipts right back during the match. But they kept it professional throughout, and it was thoroughly enjoyed by me. And I had a good time watching that match. And so that was Raw all in all on Netflix. And I do like the fact that, if you want to watch a replay of it, ain't no commercials during the replay. If you watch it live, it's commercials galore. But during the replay, no commercial breaks. So that was Raw. Like I said, I ain't watching NXT. I not really. I just saw when The Rock was there, he interacted with his daughter, which was cute. And, he put Ethan Page on those, like, hey, I'm the final boss of WWE, but Ava's the final boss of NXT. And, as long as you're cool with her, we're cool. Cool. And so, that was that. That was pretty much it for me on SmackDown. I didn't watch the rest of it. Now, Dynamite. Oh, Dynamite. We have established that Ricochet is a heel now. You know, it says he stabbed Swerve the week before. Now, he came out with Swerve. He started with Swerve House, and he brought his little, I don't know where he's going with that. I don't know why he's going back to the late 90s, early 2000s with the whole Jadakiss thing. With the, I'm like, he's old, man. What are you doing? It's super old. But I don't know what's going on in AEW. You got Cope over there. He's going after Moxley. You got the rest of the goofballs going after Moxley. Kenny Omega came back only to get beat up. Which, I mean, he came back to cut a promo. He didn't wrestle a match. He wrestled a match for another promotion. He wrestled a match for New Japan while he's under contract with AEW, which is crazy to me. But yeah, that was that. Hurt Syndicate did what they were supposed to do. They roughed some folks up. Oh man, they I don't know. Private Party came down after the match. They kind of interrupted Private Party's little celebration and told them like, yeah, we're gonna look real nice with the tag team titles. They poured the champagne out. I mean, look, Bobby Lashley's bigger than both of those guys combined. Like, he's literally bigger than both of them combined. The width of Bobby Lashley is bigger than both of Private Party. And Shelton Benjamin is 1.5 of them. I mean, like, my goodness. The Hurt Syndicate, if they challenge for those titles, they should have no problem taking them from Private Party easily in a 4-minute match. That match should be no longer than the intros. They throw them around, pin them. That's it. There's no way that match should be anywhere remotely competitive. So we got that. Man, then Mox is just dragging everybody into that whole little environment of the Death Riders and all that nonsense. So that was pretty much Dynamite. Nothing crazy happened there, and nothing too extraordinary happened there either. Got my riding partner in the back with me. He just on for the ride, listening to me talk about wrestling. And he watched something with me, then he just wander off or go to sleep, one of the two. But that was AEW's Dynamite. Now on to SmackDown. That was 3 hours. Like, yowza. Man, it was a long show. But, I mean, again, SmackDown did what it's supposed to do. Nothing to ride home about. But at the same time, you know, Solo won't there this week. He'll be there next Friday. The Bloodline was in the main event. It was Jacob and Tama Tonga against against Cody and Jimmy, and which we all knew Jimmy was going to take that pin. Come on. Come on. So Jacob showed out on Jimmy, got the pin. Cody came out there, him and Kevin Owens. I respect the fact that Cody told Kevin Owens, whenever I see you, it's on site, and he lived up to it, even though it cost him a match. Which, but hey, I get it. I get that. It was hilarious though. But that wasn't all that happened on SmackDown. You got Tiffy, she cashed in, and oh man, Nia Jax probably cut her best promo. She came out cussing at Tiffany and everything. It was great. I loved it. You can tell it's like, I can see her being really pissed about this, and she was too. She was. It was phenomenal. It was hilarious to me. So she came out, cut her promo on Tiffy, said, if you don't give me the title, either you're gonna give it to me, or I'm gonna take it. So they set up a 4-way, and now we got Bayley, number 1 contender, to go against Tiffany Stratton for the title. Coming up, I think it was next Friday or something. So we got that. We got more. LA Knight was funny when he did put Jacob out of the arena after he put him out. That was pretty funny. But LA Knight and Shinsuke Nakamura, I'm really digging Nakamura's character shift. The more darker, sinister Nakamura. I like that. And his music, man, it sold on me. His music is my whole theme for January. I love it. But that was all in all SmackDown in a nutshell. And just anticipating what's going to happen now moving forward to Bloodline. We know Roman's going to be in the Royal Rumble. So we got, so far, 2 big entrants in the Royal Rumble. We got Cena and we got Roman. They're both entering the Royal Rumble. And I like the fact that, because Roman didn't ask for a rematch. He had the belt for 3.5 years, didn't ask for a rematch. He's going by way of Royal Rumble. So that's good. That's good. Especially since the Royal Rumble is going to be, Royal Rumble next year is going to be not even here. It's going to be in Saudi Arabia. I wonder how. So yeah, the big events are going to be for sale. I mean, it's only a matter of time for WrestleMania's in the overseas. Only a matter of time. So, I mean, WWE can do what they want right now. I mean, they're the highest ticket, and I mean the product isn't bad. It's a good product, and it's fun to watch and get everyone engaged. So, what can you say about it? I mean, of course, could ask for more matches, but for me, if the story is moving along and the matches make sense to have, then have the matches with the story. And yeah, the Collision, I didn't watch that at all. I might go back and look at it. I mean, it's on Max now too, so I may check it out. I may not. It just depends on how I feel. But that was my week of wrestling, and yeah, just what I watched it over this week. Let me know what you like, what you didn't like, what was a good moment for you, good bad moment, high spot, low spot for me. All in all, great wrestling was a B. I just be keeping it real. I started to get fatigued. These 3-hour shows, man. It's not a PLE. These 3-hour shows were wearing me down. That Monday, I made it through. I was excited for Raw, was what I was wide awake for. SmackDown, I was awake for, but I say around 9:30, I started drifting, and I started drifting off a little bit, and I had to fight to stay awake for it. So let me know what you think of the longer format for both shows, both going to 3 hours. Y'all let me know what y'all think. Peace.